since the linebackers are so important in what we're talking about right now, why don't we just keep going with it? And I'm with you. Terrell Suggs messed up Achilles. I don't see you catching Kaepernick. Ray Lewis, you're 17 years in the league. You're pretty old. I understand. I will say one thing. Ray Lewis is the number one tackler on his defense and leads the second person by 18 tackles. So the man is out there doing his job. But he's faced 3
at his age and what he's
quarterbacks.
seen, he also knows the angles to take. He plays smarter, not harder, right now.
Yeah.
And it's working out for him. But on the other side of the ball, you just have Patrick Willis, who to me right now is the best middle linebacker in football. The man's young, he's athletic. And I really like him.
I love Patrick Willis. I think he is Ray Lewis reincarnated. And yet I think he's faster, stronger, and bigger than Ray Lewis was when Ray Lewis was his age.
I don't know about bigger. Ray Lewis has always had some size to him.
Oh, I know, but I'm just saying. I mean, like Patrick Willis. Hold on, let me find him. 6'1", 240 pounds. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna find out what Ray is. I need to know. But 6'1", 240 pounds, and that's Patrick Willis. He plays like a man possessed. Hence why he reminds so many people of Ray Lewis. 6'1", 240. They're exactly the same height and weight. They wear the exact same number. They are the cornerstone to their defense. Patrick Willis, to me, is Ray Lewis reincarnated. Ray Lewis going to retire. Patrick Willis going to be the next Ray Lewis for the next 15 years in the NFL. It is what it is. And there's nothing wrong with that because he's that damn good. But when it comes down to who the linebacking cores, because I'll take either one, Patrick Willis or Ray Lewis. If we're building a team, I want Patrick Willis. Why? Because he's almost 10 years younger than Ray Lewis. If I need one game for one win, I probably am going with Ray Lewis. Because if you told Ray Lewis, like this coming Sunday, this is one game. That's it for you. You have to, everything needs to be left out there. I trust Ray Lewis more than anybody else. And I mean anybody else, not even just Patrick Willis. But when it comes down to the better linebacking core, I like San Francisco's linebackers better than I like Baltimore's. All 4 of their linebackers can get to the quarterback. All 4 of their linebackers can play coverage. That's a sick combination to have with all 4 of your linebackers. So if I have to pick, I think it's pretty obvious. I like San Francisco. Navarro Bowman, Patrick Willis, Aldon Smith. Trying to remember who the other guy is.
Justin Smith?
No, linebackers. They're 3-4. Because like the Ravens, you got Terrell Suggs.
I thought Aldon Smith was at the end.
Aldon Smith, no, you're thinking 4-3. Aldon Smith is an outside linebacker. They run a 3-4 in San Francisco. You doubt me so much. I can feel.
No, it's not that I doubt you. It's just that he to me, he's an end rusher.
He's in a 3-4 scheme. He's an outside linebacker, just like DeMarcus Ware, just like Terrell Suggs.
So anytime you line up on the line with your hand down, I consider you a lineman.
That's fine, but they don't spend the whole game with their hand on the ground. That's the difference. The defensive lineman spends every snap with their hand on the ground. Outside linebackers, they don't. But I just I'm actually in here, so let me find that other linebacker. I can't remember. Ahmad Brooks. Thank you. My apologies because Ahmad Brooks is a monster and deserves respect too. So Navarro Bowman, Ahmad Brooks, Aldon Smith, and Patrick Willis are their 4 linebackers. All 4 of them made the Pro, or 3 of the 4 made the Pro Bowl this year. I like I like Ray Lewis. I like Terrell Suggs. I respect Paul Kruger. I do. But if I have to pick a linebacking core, there's just no way that I pick anybody over San Francisco's linebacking core. Just can't do it.
Now let me ask you.
Jameel McLean is the other inside linebacker for Baltimore. Just wanted to get that out there.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you like to ask me, sir?
Since I consider them both the ends, you consider them both linebackers technically by position. If you had one to take, you're looking for a pass rusher. Are you taking Kruger or are you taking Aldon Smith?
Kruger or Smith?
Kruger or Smith?
Smith.
So they're both still on, I believe, the younger side of their career.
Yeah, I would go Smith. No question about it. I would go Smith. I just any man that can break a record set by Reggie White is pretty damn good in my book.
But as Fife points out, and it's a stat that I've seen too, since Justin Smith got hurt his tricep,
I just said that
Aldon Smith had 0.
Yeah.
I know. But
0.
that's what I'm saying is, got to kind of be weary to take a guy who's had 0 sacks without the help of somebody else.
And I will tell you right now, Paul Kruger doesn't get the sacks he gets if Haloti Ngata and guys like that aren't on the defensive line. That's the whole idea behind the 3-4 scheme, is that those the three down linemen are good enough and big enough to absorb all 5, if not minimum 4 of the offensive linemen. That's their job. So that the idea is to open it up for the outside linebackers. So with an injured Justin Smith, offensive lines are now going one-on-one with him and sliding the tackle out to match up with Smith. And then you got Aldon Smith also getting chipped by a running back or something on his way out. Defenses if you're an offense and you're sitting there and I'm telling you, this week you're playing Baltimore and you got Kruger, and next week you're playing San Francisco and you got Smith, which guy in your week of preparation are you going to spend more time planning for? I can promise you offensive coordinators are going to spend more time planning for Smith than they're going to spend planning for Paul Kruger.
Okay.
So Aldon Smith to me is not much better, but when it comes down to who I would fear more or who I think has a more of an impact in this game, I think Aldon Smith is the guy over Kruger. But either which way, I just like San Francisco's linebacking core. I do. I think if you put that linebacking core with Baltimore's defensive line, screw the secondary. Screw them. Take a bunch of guys from high school, throw them out there. I think it wouldn't matter.
I like them better too, but if you're asking me, I think it's not a big gap between them. I don't think it's a big gap between the linebacking cores. I just think age and injuries are a little bit more of a factor linebacker-wise for the Ravens. That's why I give the 49ers the edge. And it's the same with the line as well. I like the 49ers line a little better because they don't necessarily, they could get out of their own way. Where you look at Nada and you look at Cody and you look at some of these guys that are 340, 320 plus pound guys, I don't think they're going to be able to chase down Kaepernick.